welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie with Chubby Girl in the World, and today is the Sunday Style Guide. Today's guide is going to be just a little bit different. It's going to be 5 things that plus size designers do that I really wish they wouldn't. I'm going to call this, Can You Not? If you see me looking off camera, it's because I have jerry-rigged a viewfinder. I film on my iPhone 6 because, yes, I am that person who keeps their phone for forever. I don't have a regular camera or viewfinder, so I, for some reason, had never thought of it before. So if you see me just kind of checking myself out, that's why. So let's go ahead and get in the words of Louise Poston, the meat of the video. Should I call it something different since I'm a vegan? Let's get into the jackfruit of the video. All right, so 5 things. I have them here on my iPad. So first, relying on stretchy fabric and not ever building structure into a garment. I really understand why, like in athletic wear, you want stretchy fabric, you want, dense fabric, you want stuff that's gonna, last to rub, that's going to hold up against rubbing. Because if you're a little bit bigger, like I am, you know that you get chub rub on your thighs if you're working out or, just day-to-day life. So athleisure wear and stuff like that, it makes sense that it is very kind of stretchy and doesn't have a whole ton of structure. However, that doesn't make sense for most other garments because you really do want something that gives you a little bit of shape, a little bit of structure, and maybe helps with those areas that maybe you're not super comfortable with. So my midsection and my midsection and my hips, like those are things that I'm not super happy with. And, we can go back and forth and argue about, whether or not I should or shouldn't be happy with them, but the fact is I'm not. So I really enjoy garments that give some structure to that area, that will give me some darting or give me some kind of illusion of more shape in that area. The problem is that most designers don't do that. They just throw a wrap dress together or some ruffles or they don't try that hard. Mostly because plus sizes are an afterthought among most brands. If you are not a dedicated plus size brand, and sometimes even when you are, you're not producing high fashion pieces. You're producing streetwear, everyday wear for the average person. Now, that's fine, but being plus size doesn't mean that you sit around your house all day. We go to work, we go to school, we are out in the world, and we would love to present ourselves. I would love to present myself. I won't speak for anyone else, but I would love to present myself as someone who's competent and pulled together and very kind of sharp, clean lines. And that's why I love Calvin Klein and Michael Kors so much, because they actually do put some thought into their plus size designs. They don't just upsize their, I'm getting ahead of myself because that's one of the other ones, but they don't just upsize their pieces. Like they've actually thought about it and worked on dress forms and models that have curves. So I really wish designers would stop relying on stretchy fabrics and just design for people who have curves. There's a really interesting video by a designer, from a designer perspective, Justine. I cannot say her last name correctly because she's French and has this amazing accent, and I am terrible at accents. And so I'm just not going to try, but I will link her in the description box below with some of my favorite videos about royals and other stuff, but like why she describes, I put it on my Instagram, why models are so thin. And I think that it is worth linking down below. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, right here. I just think that it's really worth listening to and really worth hearing that perspective from a designer and looking out for what you actually what you should be looking for in different garments. So Number 2, assuming that all plus size women are either 12 or 80. And the thing that gets me about this always happens with really when brands become bigger. So like the Lane Bryants, the Avenues, and even Torrid. So that's the example I have here of this like dress. I think it's like a purpley dress that I found that was just very simple and very, it looked like a 90s reject baby doll dress. Like, it just doesn't look good. It's not how I would want to present myself. But if you were a girl, like, 14, 15, 16, then that would be perfectly fine for you because that's who you are. And then there were these weird crepe pants that were basically like giant pajama pants that they had the nerve to sell for $65. I hate that pajama and crepe pants are going to be in style. They're going to be a trend this fall because all of the like Armani's and Chanel's and the that and the terrible cultural appropriation from the Elie Saab show. I'm going to do a whole video about like all the problematic things on the runway this upcoming season. But I just hate that like really flowy, crepey palazzo pants. So if you don't know, like watching the high fashion shows, even though that stuff never comes in plus sizes, it filters down all the way to, brands that you would buy, and like they kind of set the trends for the upcoming season. And it's terrible. It's terrible. I am not excited for new clothes this fall, which is sad because I usually love fall clothing. So yeah, it's just the dichotomy. And Lane Bryant used to be like the worst about this. They would have, like, I remember shopping at Lane Bryant when I was a teenager with my mom, and like they would have pink, like, I think they would call them migraine shirts, where there was like a pattern and like bling and, like logos and everything else. And like it would say welcome to paradise or whatever. And it was like pink with rhinestones and then like green. It was all over the place. It was crazy. And so there was like that. So it was meant for, like a 16-year-old girl. And I bought it, and, I was 16, so I wore it. And I didn't really have much choice because Lane Bryant that was it. And then they would have like pinstriped dresses for my mom, and I think I bought like a khaki blazer there once, and it was so frumpy and dull, and it wasn't cut correctly, and they did this weird thing where like they would round off corners, and like to me that's one of the worst things you can do, because those sharp corners and edges like actually that's what brings the sharpness, that's what brings the finality to a garment. For me anyway, that's the style I prefer. I don't like the like kind of cutesy rounded off things unless I'm going for like a really particular like Zooey Deschanel sort of like Peter Pan collar look, then maybe, but that's not usually my regular like aesthetic. So number 3, making every garment for busty women. For some reason, designers think that if you're over a size 10, you have double Ds. And if you do, yes, I am jealous of you. I do not. And as a matter of fact, I'm like closer to a B or a C, but I have like a huge back. So I wear like a 46C, which is incredible. Actually, no, probably closer to like a 48C. So 46, like when I can find it, and then I'll usually get like one of the extenders. It has changed a little bit since I've lost some weight, so I think I am like in between a 46 and a 48C. But that size is so hard to find, especially if you don't want an underwire and if you don't want a padded bra. I own so many padded bras because there literally just isn't anything else in my size, and I don't really like the look of padded bras. I don't necessarily want to have the look of double D like, I just don't think it looks that great on me. I think it looks kind of silly and weird. And then you have that weird thing where, like, if somebody, you know, hugs you, like, your fake boob collapses. And it doesn't feel great or pretty. And then it's like, well, I go from one and then wear, like, a bralette the next day. And it's like, people notice the difference. You know, it's like one day I'm living a lie. And the next day I'm, like, my authentic self. But I don't understand why designers think every single plus size person is super busty, because we're not. Not all of us are super busty. And everybody's shape is so different, and I feel like they really should get a few different sample models and figure it out, and not do this crazy thing where you just kind of assume that everyone's a monolith, you know, like everyone's so different. I don't understand. I don't understand. Please stop. Can you not? Yeah, thanks. Number 4, just sizing up straight garments. So this is really more for brands, like especially fast fashion brands like Shein and Boohoo and all of those places. I've never shopped from there, but from either of those places, but I can tell that the designs are not made with curvy people in mind. They're literally just made bigger according to some kind of algorithm or whatever it is that they use. They're not designed for plus size people. You can tell by the darting, you can tell by and fast fashion is like really bad at creating structure anyway, but it's even worse in plus size fast fashion. Another thing, so a bonus thing, this is not number 5, but a bonus thing is I hate when brands like H&M, Shein, Boohoo, or whatever claim to go to plus sizes, but if you actually look at the sizing chart on, I think Shein, like if you look at the inches, like a 4X is supposed to be a 44-inch waist. In no world is a 44-inch waist a 4X. Like, I have probably a 48 to 49-inch waist, and I am definitely a 4X. Like, I'm a 4X at, like, Torrid and, like, everywhere else. My natural waist is a little bit smaller, but it bothers me when H&M's like, we have plus sizes. It's like, you go up to a size 22. And yes, 22 is considered plus size, but 22, yes, is considered to be a plus size, but it is not something that 22 is like, I feel like 18 to 22 is like just outside of normal fashion, and I feel like designers think that that's as far as they can go. And the truth is, there isn't any programs that teach designers how to design for plus size women. They just don't. And again, there's a really good video by Justine where she talks about how fashion used to be that the clothes had to fit the model, not the model fitting the clothes, and how we are seeing kind of like a swing back in popular opinion of like, no, clothes should represent us and should fit us and not tell us how we should look. So I really feel like it's really important to go watch that video, and she has like a ton of other videos. I found them really helpful and really entertaining. And okay, I'm an American, so I just love hearing other people's accents. And number 5 is charging a premium price just because it's plus size. I understand that you have to take cost into consideration. So any business does, right? And you have to say, okay, well, it cost me $30 in labor, cost of goods, and, you know, to keep the lights on. It cost me $30 to make this dress. I have to sell it for $70 to make a profit, to pay all my bills, make a profit, and then kind of put that money, the rest of the money, into buying more goods and labor and all that stuff to keep the process going. So that's a reasonable profit margin, and that's usually about, anywhere from 100 to 150% markup is normal and probably all of retail. However, it does not make sense for people like Lane Bryant or Torrid or anyone else to charge. I don't think Torrid does this. I don't think I've ever seen them do it, but I know Lane Bryant does, where they charge additional money, not like $1 or $2, but like $15 more for sizes 26 and up, or 28 and up, or whatever their cutoff is. To me, when you are a huge brand like that, what that says is that's just a money grab, and I don't care about you as a patron or customer or person. It's literally just punishing someone for being a different size. I hate that. I hate that someone would do that, because there is no difference there is no statistically significant difference in the amount of material that's used for a size 24 dress, a size 28 dress. Like, there's not a huge difference in that range, especially if it is the exact same garment. If it is the exact same thing with the exact same fabric, the exact same pattern, why am I paying $15 more than someone who just happens to be 10 to 15 pounds less, who weighs a little bit less than I do, or has slightly different proportions than I do? I don't understand that. Like, that makes zero sense to me. And see, there I am checking myself out in my viewfinder. I just really hate that there are people who go to a website like Lane Bryant, or go to a website and see like, oh, I really love this dress, I really love this thing, and they're like, oh, it's $28.99, and like, so say it's $28.99, right, which would be super cheap for Lane Bryant, and then they go and they click on it, and then they click on their size, and then they see, oh no, for you this dress is $40, or even if it's $10 more, $48.99, or I just, can you imagine like what that feels like inside? Like, it feels like, oh, a complete rejection of me as a consumer and a person, and saying like, well, because you are inconvenient for us, you must pay this toll. And I don't like that. And especially because Lane Bryant capitalizes, and they try to capitalize on like their anti Victoria's Secret thing, where they said like, I'm no angel, right? And then I almost bought one of those shirts, because I was like, yeah, standing up to the man and F your beauty standards and all this stuff. And then I realized like, they're perpetuating this idea of acceptability in size by charging more for larger sizes when they don't have to. Like, it is simply a money grab. It is nothing else. I can guarantee you that they are not paying $15, $20 extra per dress for that material. They absolutely are not. And it's not like somebody's sitting there and like hand stitching this stuff. Like, that is not the case. Like, somebody is using a sewing machine. It's probably all machine made, and probably not even touched by human hands most of the time. So yeah, I'm not buying it, especially because in factories like that, they have really precise cutting measurements, and they're able to, utilize as much fabric as possible with, as little waste as possible, because of course they do. They're a business. That's what they hire people and logistics people to figure out, like, okay, we're going to cut this yard of fabric. How many sleeves can we get out of it? And they're going to do it no matter what. And so, like, okay, we're going to get out of a yard of fabric or 2 yards of fabric, we're going to get, 10 size 16 sleeves. We're gonna get, you know, we'll be able to get 7 size 18, and we'll be able to get, you know, 5 26s or whatever. But here's the thing, is that when you're a large corporation, you can negotiate and bulk buy and do all of the things that like indie brands can't do. So an indie brand that charges more, that actually, like an Etsy seller that actually is having to sit there and create something for you and has to actually buy more material and do that and does not have access to these things, that's a completely different story. So if you are a, you know, indie creator, I'm not talking about you. But even so, like, I've seen Etsy sellers that upcharge maybe $10 just to cover the, you know, the fabric, because it's going to take them the same amount of time. And it's really sad when people who don't have all the advantages of a large business, large corporation, large backing and investors have more integrity than someone who's been around for over 100 years. And that's pretty sad. Lovelies, this has been my gripe session about the 5 things plus size brands do that I really wish they wouldn't. Could they not? Let's just not. So stay tuned. In the comments down below, leave a dancing flamenco emoji so I know you made it to the end. Thanks so much, lovelies. Bye.